This French warship was just attacked by Somali pirates. But it turned out the pirates mistaking it for a defenseless civilian cargo ship. Unbeknownst to them, they were up against a vessel armed to the teeth, not one equipped with mere water hoses for defense. See what happens next. So, our story begins in June 2009. The Somme, a command and replenishment tanker from the French Navy's Durance class, set sail from the Toulon naval base in southern France. Its destination, the vast expanse of the Indian Ocean. This wasn't just any routine deployment. Somme was on a mission to take command of all French naval operations in the area as part of Operation Atalanta, aimed at combating the rising tide of piracy off the coast of East Africa. The journey was epic. The Somme navigated through the Mediterranean Sea, squeezed through the Suez Canal, and finally arrived in the Indian Ocean. By mid-July, it was in place, ready to coordinate the efforts of French warships and collaborate with Allied navies to keep the pirates at bay. For a few months, things were relatively calm and uneventful. But then, October came around. On the night of October 6, 2009, the Somme found itself 460 kilometers off the northern coast of Somalia. It was tasked with resupplying an Allied frigate on patrol, though the frigate's identity remains classified. As the Somme cruised towards its rendezvous point, the clock struck 1 a.m. on October 7th. Out of the darkness, two small boats appeared, each loaded with about 5 pirates. They had mistaken the Somme for an unarmed civilian tanker, a mistake they'd soon regret. The pirates, thinking they had an easy target, opened fire with small arms. They maneuvered closer, ready to board with their ladders. But as they approached, they quickly realized something was off. The Somme wasn't acting like a helpless merchant ship. It wasn't running away, nor was it trying to douse them with water cannons. Instead, it was heading straight for them. Panic set in as the pirates recognized their fatal error. This wasn't a defenseless ship. It was a fully armed naval vessel. The Somme had 4 M2 Browning machine guns and 3 Simbad Mistral surface-to-air missile launchers. And a crew of 162 well-trained personnel. Realizing the gravity of their mistake, the pirates tried to flee in different directions. The Somme gave chase. For about an hour, it pursued one of the small boats. Around 2 a.m., the pirates on that boat finally gave up. They stopped and raised their hands in surrender. The French Marines were dispatched to capture them. On board the pirates' boat, they found no weapons, no boarding equipment, no food, and no water. The pirates had thrown everything overboard in a desperate bid to escape. The 5 captured pirates were brought back to the Somme. They spent 6 days in custody before being handed over to local authorities in Puntland, northern Somalia, on October 12th. Despite a multinational search effort from October 7th to 8th, the second pirate boat managed to slip away and was never found. In the end, the French Navy opted for a relatively lenient course of action, returning the captured pirates to their homeland. One can only speculate on how differently the story might have ended had they attacked a Russian warship instead. But that's a tale for another time. But you know what? I've made a special video about how Somali pirates try to mess with Russian warships. You can check it out there. All I'll say is that Russian warships operate under completely different rules compared to French warships. It's more than 6 months after the Somme's first run-in with pirates. The ship is still out there in the Indian Ocean, patrolling as part of Operation Atalanta. It's the night of April 19th, 2010. The Somme is about 700 kilometers off the coast of Somalia, heading towards the Seychelles. And guess what? The pirates are back at it again. Under the cover of darkness, the silhouette of the Somme looks like a civilian merchant ship, a tempting target for pirates. This time, a group of pirates operating from a dhow, that's their mothership, decide to attack. They launch 2 small skiffs and move into position, opening fire on the Somme. But they still don't realize they're messing with a fully armed warship. Big mistake. And the French Navy isn't about to let it slide this time. They immediately respond with heavy machine gun fire, catching the pirates completely off guard and throwing their attack into chaos. The pirates quickly realize they've made a huge blunder. They break off the attack and try to flee, splitting up in different directions. Sound familiar? It's just like what happened in October, but this time, the Somme means business. Somme zeroes in on one of the skiffs, but while in pursuit, they make a significant discovery. They spot and intercept the dhow that had been acting as the pirates' mothership. The French Marines spring into action, boarding the dhow, capturing 2 pirates, and seizing a cache of weapons and boarding equipment. Once the dhow is evacuated and the pirates detained, the French Navy sinks and destroys the vessel. But the hunt isn't over. The Somme continues its pursuit of the remaining skiff for several hours. By the morning of April 20, they locate and capture the second skiff, not far from where the initial attack occurred. 4 more pirates on board surrender without a fight. More weapons and boarding gear, including ladders and grappling hooks, are found and confiscated. These 4 pirates, along with the 2 captured earlier, are brought aboard the Somme. Now, what happens to these 6 pirates? While the exact details remain unclear, it's likely they were handed over to authorities in an East African country, such as Seychelles, Kenya, or Somalia. The pirates learned the hard way, again, that not all ships are easy targets, especially not the Somme. The French Navy demonstrated once more that they're not messing around when it comes to protecting their waters and allies. Somalia's waters have become a notorious hotspot for pirate activity. Why, you ask? Well, Somalia has been considered a failed state since 1991 due to an endless civil war and severe economic collapse. With no effective central government, law and order have broken down, allowing pirates to operate almost with impunity. It all started back in the 1980s when Somali pirates were originally fishermen. They claimed their mission was to stop illegal fishing and waste dumping in Somali waters, which, believe it or not, is still a problem today. With the Somali government too weak and under-resourced to protect their waters, these fishermen took matters into their own hands, arming themselves to defend their livelihoods. The abundance of illegal weapons, thanks to the ongoing civil conflict, made this transition relatively easy. Piracy skyrocketed after the fall of the Somali government and the economic collapse in the early 1990s. Shipping companies inexperienced with dealing with piracy and unwilling to take risks began paying ransoms. Initially, these ransoms were in the tens of thousands of dollars, but quickly ballooned into the millions. Seeing how easy it was to make big money, more and more pirates joined the fray. Civilian merchant and tanker ships, often lightly crewed and poorly armed, became easy targets. Some experts argue that paying these massive ransoms only fuels the problem. But can you really blame the companies? Crew safety is a top priority, and in some cases, sailors have been held hostage for years. The dilemma is real. In response to this escalating crisis, about 24 warships from EU countries, including the UK, France, Germany, Italy, and even the US, began patrolling Somali waters, an area covering about 2 million square miles. Their mission? To fight piracy and deter the pirates. Sounds like a good plan, right? Well, it's complicated. Despite increased naval patrols in the Gulf of Aden, capturing and prosecuting pirates has proven difficult due to legal complexities. When pirates are returned to Somalia, they often end up back on the streets, free to continue their illicit activities. The weak legal system in Somalia allows these pirates to strengthen their operations on land, with piracy becoming a lucrative business. The fact is, between 30% and 75% of ransom money goes to pirate financiers in Somalia, while the pirates who actually carry out the hijackings receive less than 1% of the total ransom. Stuart Yakona, a senior financial sector specialist at the World Bank, revealed this shocking statistic. The global economy takes a hit of around $18 billion a year due to increased trading costs because of piracy. It's a complex and ongoing issue with no easy solutions. The waters off Somalia remain dangerous, and the fight against piracy continues. If you found this information fascinating, make sure to like this video so YouTube recommends more content like this to you. And if you're curious about more pirate stories and maritime adventures, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss out on our thrilling updates. Until next time, peace.